All right, we are rolling. Hi, welcome Sagittarius, that's you. This is Tarot Lumination with your little love and relationship report for the April 2018 season. Same routine, watch for your sun, moon, and rising. You know the drill. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Do the cross-watching too for your significant others if you really want to go deep. Also for singles, some of you I know watch this anyway. You allow for the laws of attraction. There's still you, still radiating energy of love and relationship, even if there's no one there. And then when the laws of attraction kick in, this could be the energy of what if. In other words, say that someone did appear. This would be kind of the what if their energy would be like. Laws of attraction in action. We're going to use the crucible spread, which allows for you, significant other, and the relationship itself, a third entity which has a life energy and purpose and meaning of its own in a healthy relationship. This is in full awareness, and it's fundamental to the health of the couple in that they invest in the relationship. They make sure that the relationship itself is durable, because it's the relationship which acts as a crucible in which the relationship can occur. Okay? So that the processes of intimacy and separation can occur in a natural way without exploding every time we intimate or every time we separate. In other words, it just becomes part of the natural flow, ebb and flow of life, just like the lunar cycles, or any cycle, any wave pattern, any sine wave pattern. Okay, cards were well shuffled in advance. We're going to go for it now. Please bring in your angels. I do the best to bring in what I can on board as a team effort. We're cutting now, and then we're going to go for it. It's an interesting month because there's a lot of shifting and changing going on here. We've had a roller coaster for the last few months with all planets direct, but now Jupiter is retrograde. Mercury's going to be retrograde for the first 2 weeks, and then Saturn's flipping retrograde halfway through April. So that's a lot of churning. Okay, Sagittarius? You know what? Before we even go to the reading, let me pull this out. I know you want to get on with it. I know you don't want to waste your time here, but let me show you something. I found this because there's not a lot of action happening directly with Sagittarius with the planets, but if you look carefully, you go to the middle of the month, around April 15th here, for example. This is my personal private little doodle, just so I can stay abreast of these things. There's a massive cluster of Aries energy over here. Okay? So for you, Sagittarius, that would be in your 5th house of love and romance. Okay? True love. Really. Seriously romantic, yummy stuff here. Potential for new beginnings, new starts. But it could be very, let's say, jittery or jolting, because there's a lot of fire energy there, and you're fire yourself, but there's other conflicting energies happening at the same time. So it might feel as though the first few weeks are you getting geared up to what might feel like a new start, and then the last few weeks is just like, oh my gosh, what's happening now? So you might want to mark that day on your calendar, like the build up to the April 15th, and then the next build up from what happens on the new moon as it activates and rises up to the full moon right at the very end of the month. I think it's the 29th you have the full moon. I'm sorry if I cut already and I forgot, and I think I just did. I'm sorry, but we're going to keep going anyway. All right. There we go. Thank you for your understanding. We just did this, but we're doing it again, it seems. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No harm intended. It all works out for the best, you'll see. Here's your love energy radiating outward. Here's the significant other. Here's deep in your soul, deep in the soul of another, and this is the fleeting energy of the relationship through April, okay? This is the crucible itself, the entity in which the relationship is conducted. Over here, some prospects, some momentum. And we're going to look at circumstantial energy right now, Sagittarius. It's up to you to make the best of it. So you've got the 6 of Pentacles here. So this, to me, feels like it's a really good time to bring things into, let's say, equilibrium, where if things have been very, very lopsided and favoring you for some time, It's time to like bring the love back into the relationship and pay close attention to a significant other. If it's been out of whack and they've been enjoying all your bounty and good fortune and to the point of depletion, it's time to bring things back. In other words, if you deep down know that you need a lot of receiving, that's okay. If you know deep down that they need a lot of receiving, that's okay. It just needs to be acknowledged. This is very evident, like it's right in your face. There's a lot of give and take that happens in relationships, and that's all about the energy. Like if you know that your loved one is hurting or suffering and they need investments from you, it's time to step up. If it's the other way around, it's time for them to step up and continue to invest in the relationship. Let's have a look. What are you radiating here? Okay, well, with the Eight of Cups, my feeling is that this to me feels like it's early in the month. It's just like you're out in the cold, and there's a lot invested in a relationship dynamic here. But as things ebb and flow, coming up to that new moon, my feeling is that you're aware of all the love that is there, but you're also aware of what lies ahead, which might be quite undefinable in terms of, you know, how relationships evolve in terms of the spiritual journey, so to speak, as opposed to the day-to-day, you know, three-dimensional aspects. I mean, a lot of us get, you know, we get so consumed with like, oh, did we take the minivan to do the tires this week, honey? Or have we got enough money in the food kitty for treats on the weekend for the kids? Whatever it is, and you just do all that anyway. But deep down, you all know that there is a deep spiritual inner journey that's happening simultaneously. And that in many ways is the most important aspect. But sometimes it gets ignored or forgotten because we get so consumed with the three-dimensional stresses of things. What's working, what's not working. You know, where do we need to focus our attention now? Where do you have to be a hero today, Sagittarius? Where do you need to be on the receiving end of a hero today, Sagittarius? But knowing here that deep down in your soul that there's more to learn, more to understand, even if you don't even have a clue what it is. But it might come into the light, so to speak, late in the month after that new moon. Okay, let's have a look at the other. Okay, well, my feeling here with the Knight of Swords is that they're off on their own thing, almost to the point of like, it's almost like, hey, honey, like, but you're not even able to say it right now because it feels to me like there's quite a disconnect here. It's just like, I'm full of the love. I've got the love. You've got the love. Relationship's got the love. But I'm feeling kind of on my own, is almost as I have to continue on my own here, on my own spiritual path, which may not be your first choice. Maybe you actually like being consumed in the nitty-gritty of stuff. And this might be an energy that you're radiating unwillingly, simply because you have no choice, because relating to a significant other who's totally focused on their own mission, so to speak, to the point where they might be trampling your feelings without even knowing it. They might have all the best of intentions, like you're hanging out with them and they're hanging out with you, and it's just like, yeah, honey, I'm so happy for your new plans. I'm so excited for you. And what are you going to do now? Oh, that's wonderful. And then they're like, oh, I'm so glad you get it because I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then and you're like, yeah, well, what about me? What about us? Maybe I'm the one who needs a bit of TLC now. Maybe it's been a little bit too one-sided, you know, where everything, you've had to stay over here, to be over here, to keep things going. And now it's seriously out of whack. Needs to be brought back into balance. Maybe you need some TLC now and some spiritual guidance and stuff. And let's forget about the, you know, the ambitions and the missions and the, you know, our goals and achievements in life. What about the love? What about the relationship itself? So, with that said, let's have a look deep down inside. To me, okay, well, to me, it feels like deep down, it's not the end of the world. You know that this is a cyclical thing. Perhaps you guys have a pattern of ups and downs where there's a lot of sway between, like, all of a sudden it's all about them and all about them, and now and again it gets to be all about you, and every now and again it gets to be that harmonious balancing point. But honestly, it's really hard to constantly be on a pendulum where it's all this or all that, and over here and over here. But what about stability and comfort and love and peace and happiness, equilibrium in the middle point? Maybe the whole point is being missed here. And my feeling here with the Wheel of Fortune is that you're aware of that pattern as a cyclical pattern. Like, oh, here we go again. Oh, it's all about them. Oh, it's all about me. It's all about them. It's all about me. What about us? What about us? Where you're kind of both in it together. It's not about, those relationships where it's like people are supporting each other, like, oh, I'm investing in you so you can go train, be a doctor. Oh, well, thanks very much. And in exchange, I'll invest in you so you can upgrade and become an accountant or something, whatever it is. But what about us? What about the relationship itself? My feeling here is that you're just keeping your fingers crossed, really, really crossed, hoping that this is just another cycle and that by the middle of the month, new moon, things will change, things will be different, and maybe the pendulum can settle down a little bit, bring things into harmony and balance. What about the other? Well, deep down, it feels to me like they're aware that there are issues, and I have a feeling that they are aware that the issues of whatever is not working in the relationship at this moment in time is a lot to do with their distractions in their own, let's say, ambitions and drives to be right, to achieve, and to succeed and prove how awesome they are, while neglecting not only the relationship, but themselves as well. Like, they're so gung-ho on being them that everything else in the relationship becomes jeopardized. And deep down, it's just like, my feeling here is I'm putting kind of a shadow, I'm feeling kind of a shadow aspect on the Seven of Pentacles here, in that they're perfectly aware of the values and the value of the relationship and all the investment that's gone into the relationship. But they're not very interested in doing all the repair and maintenance stuff. In other words, it's just like being on a road trip where, like, nobody wants to, like in a loving relationship, you would make decisions jointly, okay? But it's almost like they've got the steering wheel, they've got the gas pedal, they've got the brake pedal, they got the max, they got the GPS, and they're determined to make the journey go a certain way. And then as you're over here, like, it's just a weekend minivan road trip, people. Can we just stop for a break? Some of us are hungry. Some of us need a bathroom break. And they're like, no, we can make it to the next stop. It's going to be awesome. Trust me. And they're just not willing to do the repairs and the maintenance and think about us. They're off on their own, like their own adventure, their own crusade, And it just leaves you in a really awkward position. Because it's almost like if you do stop the crusade, if the mission stops, then all of this that needs the maintenance and repairs and understanding inside the context of a loving relationship would actually have to be addressed. And I don't feel that they want to do that. They're much more interested in just staying on their crusade. But that's not working for you. It's not helping the relationship much. Let's have a look at the relationship itself. Okay. So, to me, it feels like this would be symbolic of, it's almost like, well, I told you so. This is how it is. Like, if you can think of yourself as you, Sagittarius, in a relationship, and it's either just you and them, or you and a family and team, or friends, and if you think of the relationship as a journey, and things are out of whack, it's not the end of the world. It's just that sometimes you got to take a break and do the repairs and the maintenance so that everybody can go on, so that you can sort of kind of restore things into equilibrium and harmonious, where the relationship does become center You know, if it's all about you or if it's all about them and everyone's ignoring the relationship, that's not healthy in the long term. It feels to me that the big disparities that I'm sensing here can actually be, you can capitalize on this and say, okay, enough is enough. This is going to be a struggle. It's a battle. It's, let's say, being super optimistic here, it's going to bring out the best in you, Sagittarius. It's going to make you get to the point where you say, enough is enough. I am going to call it out, and I am going to say that we need to focus on us and the relationship and bring things into balance. We need to do serious reality checks here, and because I Sagittarius, don't want to be this way. I don't want to be constantly living on the whims of your crusade, the ups and downs of your crusade. There is a relationship. It does include us. It's not all about you. Okay? So it makes me feel as though, even though you might not want to, it means the relationship in some ways is going to bring out the best in you, Sagittarius, by basically acknowledging all this. Let's just say, hypothetically, the new moon comes and your whole 5th house of love, true love and romance is totally lit up, and all the wonders are there in front of you, and everything that's not working there is now fully in front of you. And a lot of what's not working is the neglect regarding repairs and maintenance going along from their perspective. Doesn't mean everything's their fault. It's just that this part is neglected, but it has to be taken care of in order to move on. So it's going to mean you, Sagittarius, being courageous and bold and like standing up and literally fighting for the relationship. Not fighting for you, not fighting for them, fighting for the relationship itself. Okay? Okay? Because that's what counts. It's the love. In other words, you know there's a lot of love vested in there. They know there's a lot of evidence of love vested in the relationship. They know that. You know that. They know that. But they're off on their own thing, which is in some ways, maybe it's very exciting for you. Maybe you're all happy for them, Sagittarius, but the relationship is seriously neglected right now. So it needs to be brought back into harmony and balance. I'm going to restate it. It's not all about you. It's not all about them. What about us? And someone has to call it out, and it's going to be you, Sagittarius, because in doing so, like taking advantage of the later part of the month where you can kind of see how this might make more sense at that time. It's like bringing the energy of true love back into a relationship, because it might have been like neglected. You know how relationships eventually start to go on autopilot. A lot of people let things slide. They forget to do the repairs and the maintenance from their side. Sometimes it might be like this, where they're riding high and you're forgetting to do the repairs and the maintenance. But right now, let's just say, yeah, okay, let's say it's their fault. I don't want to officially assign blame, but let's just say we need to take care of this and bring the relationship back to center and bring the love back into the relationship where it's evident and it's out there. And forget your crusade for now. Forget the isolation of you now. Let's get back to center. Make this happen. Bring the love back in and then redefine it. Start that new beginning. Radical new beginning. Take advantage of this. I'm just going to show the little doodle again. I feel obliged to. Where is it? Oh, I got the dates out of order. So it's this one here. Take full advantage of this. This is very challenging in its own right. The Capricorn Aries energy is challenging. But for you, Sagittarius, all this Aries energy over here is very nutritious for you. So my suggestion is take full advantage of that new moon late in the month. Run with it, knowing that you've got challenges that need to be dealt with. Okay? And it's like you're going to have to be the one with the courage to call it out. That's my feeling here. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings or touch any really delicate nerves. I'm just calling it out how I felt it, okay? All right, Sagittarius, reinterpret however you want. So watch your sun, moon, and rising. And thank you for visiting. If you really need to get into it, you know where to come, okay? All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye. All the best.